The Chicago Bulls are taking on the Boston Celtics, this time at home. Can the Chicago Bulls have a repeat performance and get another win over the defending NBA champions? We'll talk about all and more, but first, we got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it today. The Chicago Bulls are taking on the Boston Celtics today. This is the second game in a row against the Boston Celtics. Now, they have had a couple of days off since the last game. And the question is, can the Bulls have a repeat performance? Last game, the Chicago Bulls outshot the Boston Celtics from three-point range, which is a big reason why they were able to win that game. And they're going to need to be able to do that again if they're going to want to hope to win this game against the Boston Celtics. Now, the Bulls have been a much better road team than home team. And so, apologize. So that brings some concerns there on, can the Bulls do what they did on the road in Boston at home? The Bulls have notoriously not really played well at home. And hopefully that can be solved. This is the type of game that I'm looking to see if the Bulls can do it again against Boston, because if they do, that's going to change a lot of people's perspective. If the Bulls can get 2 wins against Boston, it will be their 4th win in a row as well. I didn't have much faith for the team coming into the last game, but they were able to perform, keep up with Boston throughout the entirety of that game. Even when Boston did go on some runs, the Bulls were able to answer right back because they really gave good effort on the defensive side of the ball. If they can do that again, we'll see what happens there. But the Boston Celtics are coming out in this game, and they're going to try to make a point, especially with how upset Joe Mazzulla was. He did get fined today as well because of his interaction with the ref in that game. Best believe the Boston Celtics are coming out for blood in this game, and we'll see if the Bulls are ready to withstand that. BKR says, I just want to see Mazzulla cry again tonight, please. Hey, listen, I love causing other teams pain. What's up, y'all? It's game day. Shout out to Keanu in the building. Rob, rivalry begins tonight. No, the Bulls are not rivals for the Boston Celtics. Let's be clear. I don't care if the Bulls do win this game. Would you have the Bulls able to win a series against the Boston Celtics? Hell no. So no, ain't no rivalry coming. The Celtics are coming for blood. Absolutely, brother. Dalen Terry back in. We need this win again. We'll see. Hey, listen, I've learned not to count out the Chicago Bulls. I've learned, not to have a lot of faith with them in times, but not to count them out either. So we'll see what happens. Audio got a little static. Does it still have it? Let me know if it's still there. If it is, I may have to do something crazy. Expect some chippiness. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the Boston Celtics are a much better team. I would not be surprised if they come out here and just kill the Bulls today. I got faith in my team. We can win again. We can. I mean, it's a possibility. This Bulls team is Jekyll and Hyde when it comes to being home versus on the road. It's really wild. It's really wild. I mean, I would much rather the Bulls be a good home team, but it is what it is. Want to see Modest and Jalen Smith step up tonight. Hey, Modest Bucilis, I don't think he scored a single point in the last game, if I'm not mistaken. So it would be really good to see Modest Bucilis have a big game against this Boston Celtics team today. But I'm overall just hoping that the team gets a win. Let's go Bulls, absolutely. Yeah, it's still there even on the intro. If it's on the intro, then you may want to check your device, bro. Is anybody else hearing any static? Because if it's in the intro is online. That's not even coming from my sound sound interface. So if you're hearing it on the intro, that may be something else, brother. Last game, 14.5 spread tonight, 12.5. So not much hope. I mean, but listen, the Bulls won the last game, Rob. So there you go on that one. Nort Giddy is not playing. The Nort Giddy? Why wouldn't it Nort Giddy? What's good, Haize? Another game against the Celtics and their chalk chimpanzee fan base. That's crazy. That's crazy. A chimpanzee fan base? That's crazy. Natalie also says okay, hold on. Give me 1 second then. I'm gonna disappear for 1 second, guys. Hopefully that fixes it. If not, it's gonna have to we're gonna have to tough it through on this stream, and I'll try to fix it afterwards. There's a tiny bit of static, but nothing major. Did you hear Missoula's response about he was saying to the refs at the end of the game, said he was wishing them a happy holidays? Yeah, listen, I love I honestly, and here's the thing. I don't ever want Billy Donovan to do anything that's gonna cost the Bulls possessions or games or anything like that. But I would love if Billy Donovan showed a little bit more fieriness with the referees from time to time. I would just love to see that. Jalen right now has the fourth highest 3-point percentage, and I think 9 guys have at least 36% from three. I wouldn't be surprised with that. Wouldn't be surprised. Like you said before, Haize, it's any given day, and I think Modest is going to have a bounce back game tonight. See red. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, brother. Hey, let's see if we can make it 2 games in a row. I mean, well, it's more than 2 games. We're on a 3-game winning streak. So, I mean, it'll be. I mean, if you mean 2 in a row against Boston, I just want listen. I'm never going to root for my team to lose, right? That's just not what I'm going to do. And I love, and I talked about it a couple of episodes ago, how the Bulls, this recent streak is really fueled by the defense just being much better than what it has been. The offense has basically been the same. Even with Coby's slump, the offense has basically been the same. But a big thing that's been really propelling the Bulls to these wins lately is the fact that their defense has been respectable. It's been respectable. And you've seen like the Milwaukee Bucks completely turn their defense around. They started the season off the worst defensive team in the league, and now there's one of the better defenses. So if the Bulls do really turn this defense around, it can really change some things considerably for this team. Sup, bro? It's game day. Earlier on, I wasn't expecting nothing from the squad, but after watching the last several games, I want us to be competitive through the year. Then sell off a lot of the pieces and suck. I mean, here's the thing, though, is that the main reason so many people are talking about the Bulls trading pieces off is because how deep this draft is. And I talked a little bit about it on today's daily episode that the Bulls very well could push off the retool another year and go throughout this season, try to win, compete as many games as possible, and then the offseason trade off a lot of pieces. And then at that point, you don't have to worry about the Spurs owning your pick at all, right? Meaning that if you finish strongly, great, you still keep your first round pick. If you finish weak, great, you have a higher first round pick. So there is that aspect of things that could happen with this team as well. Celtics chucked up 400 threes in the last game and got whooped. It just comes down to if they hit on them or not. Just because Boston shoot threes doesn't guarantee shit. I do feel like they'll land tonight. Yeah, the Celtics aren't typically a cold team. Like how they shot, they missed 40-something threes last game. You really can't bet on that happening back-to-back games. Now, we'll see if it does, but more than likely, the Celtics are going to shoot a much more respectable 3-point shooting percentage today, and that's going to close in that discrepancy quite a lot. Sup, Haize, bro? Watch vids all the time. Finally caught you live, though. High-scoring game tonight. I'm calling it. Go Bulls, see red. Shout out to Serb Supreme. First of all, that username is crazy. As long as you're not drinking scissor. If it's just regular syrup, it is what it is. Practice is showing that it's helped the switching on defense. Listen, that in communication, they're communicating a lot better on the defensive side of the ball as well. If we don't grab our nuts tonight, we're getting boat raced. Intensity from start to finish. That's first of all, why did you choose violence in the way you wanted to word that whole entire comment, William? What happened? Is everything okay at home? Is everything okay at home? That was crazy. Io and Zach have gonna have another big game tonight, and I think Modest will too for him. And I also think P Dub will have another good game, and Vooch will be Vooch. He's by far the most our most consistent player on here. Vooch has definitely been the most consistent player. He's been the most consistent for sure. Small sample, but it's looking better communication wise. Absolutely, and effort and communication go a long way on the defensive side of the ball. If you can get consistent effort, consistent communication. Yeah, for sure. It changes a lot of things. Hey, hope you're having a happy holidays. I'm worried that we are winning too many games and sacrificing this top 10 pick. I mean, that very well could happen. It very well could happen. What up, Haize? Everything okay? Pregame a little late. Looking for how the coaches adjust this time around. Yeah, I got a life. That's all it is. That's all it is. I was out corralling midgets. You know, you just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta go out there. You just gotta get that lasso and just corral the midgets. You just gotta get that together. Sometimes you just gotta do that. It was nice seeing Zach and Vooch and others attacking the Celtics, switching on defense too. Yeah, I mean, and listen, I'm still a little bit concerned about the half court offense, right? Because I think as the season goes on, your half court offense needs to be, you need to be able to rely on that a little bit more. So why do you think people are so stuck on this draft being so deep? Because in reality, there will be other drafts that are deep. This isn't the last one. Yeah, because this draft is extremely deep, and drafts this deep only probably come around every 1 to 5 years. That just is what it is. There will be other deep drafts, but not this deep. You can realistically get a perennial all star between 15 and almost 20 in this draft. Right now, of course, that's all based off potential, but there's a lot of potential in this draft. And so, yeah, this is a draft that is extremely deep. It's top end heavy as well, but there's a lot of really good players in this draft. Like what we talked about, Derek Queen today. Like that's a player that's not really getting talked about at all, right? But he very well could go in the lottery, and he very well could be one of the best bigs to come out this draft. So it's that perspective that's really putting that all together. Nothing wrong with the serve if you know what you're doing. LOL, Texas made. That is hilarious. But I don't do the scissor, so I can't speak on it. Keep crashing the boards. Bulls out rebound Celtics 56-45 before. Let's do it again tonight. I mean, listen, that was a big thing, especially when you look at I think we had a total of like 12 second chance points in the entirety of the second half of that game. It may have been a little bit less than that, but that's an important part of changing the momentum. And one thing we talk about with this Bulls team is like the momentum plays sometimes they miss out on. Getting second chance points really does change that and limiting that for the other team as well. Ant says, kind of wanting to see how the Bulls handle Boston coming out swinging. Previously, the Bulls didn't have the balls being punched in the mouth. I want to see how they react. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Pat going for 22, 8 rebounds tonight. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Are these the thick midgets from before? I mean, is there any other type of midgets? Like, are you corralling skinny midgets? That's crazy. That's wild. Corralling skinny midgets is wild. Faster we can get Zach and Vooch out of here, the faster we stray away from mediocrity and have a direction. I mean, you have a direction. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to be in mediocrity. I've said it before. The Bulls could very well draft the talent and be right back where they are. Now, it's a much different thing being in the middle of the pack with a young team that's developing versus a team where two of your best players are 30 and above. But it's no guarantee. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Ain't no love like midget love. Bridget the midget is sexier than bald headed hoe for sure. Who's Bridget the midget? That's crazy. That's wild. Jonathan Aegis says, I don't know. Celtics just look like they party hard the night before the last game. That's not true. I'm sorry. Like, and I get it. Like, there's a lot of reason to be pessimistic with this Bulls team. But no, if you watch that game closely, the Bulls' activity defensively and how physical they got with Boston really disturbed Boston. It isn't just about that. You're a content creator, Haize. You're not allowed to have a life. Get with the times, please. No, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. We're going to need a 30 piece from Coby and Vooch. I mean, we've won without it. Listen, I hope that Coby has a bounce back game. Coby's slump has been so disappointing. Like, it really sucks. And I understand the reasons that of why it happened. I've gone into it. I've looked at the stats, looked at where he gets his shots. But it's really disappointing. Really, really disappointing to see it. Because Coby gotta play better, man. Shady, my brother Haize, happy holidays to you and the fam, brother. Thank you for that. Happy holidays to you and your fam as well, brother. The Celtics went 9 of 50 on open and wide open threes in the last game. If they shoot anywhere near their normal percentage, the Bulls would have been blown out early. And that is the live and die by the three. Vern, you're right. I guess what I'm saying is I don't care too much about where we select in the draft because if it's extremely deep, Just let it come natural and build organically, then figure out what vets you keep and don't. Well, the problem is that the Bulls don't have it if it's not in the top 10. Like, I don't think you would be hearing from so many people, myself included, of saying we need to make sure we keep this top 10 pick if the Bulls just had their pick outright. Right? If this was a year where the Bulls just own their own first round pick, no restrictions or anything on it, I would be saying, hey, go for everything. Because even if you miss out and you end up in the lottery, you could realistically get a damn good player into the 20s. So in any other normal year, if the Bulls just had the complete rights to their pick, I don't think you probably still be seeing a smaller portion of the fan base say, hey, we got to make sure we're in the top 5 or whatever. But generally, because this draft is so deep, if we just had our own first round pick outright, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be saying, hey, go for it. Go for everything. If you fall short, great. We got a chance to add a hell of a talent. And that's part of the problem of like where this Bulls team is and the assets that they gave up, because now it sits in a place where we got to hope to keep a top 10 pick in the deepest draft in the last few years. Starters out. Yeah, starters are out. Coby, Ayo, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic. You think we're getting returns? Coby will move to the bench because of Ayo's ascension in his slump. I've said it before. I don't think Billy Donovan has the balls to change the starting lineup. I just don't think he does. I would love to be proven wrong on that. But if you're asking me, do I think he's going to make a change to the starting lineup? No. I just don't think Billy Donovan has the balls to do so. He's going to keep this thing going unless the Bulls make a big trade or something to where you have to change it. I really foresee this team just keeping the starting lineup the same, even with with Coby's slump and everything else. Was Cornette hurt last game? I kind of like his goofy giraffe ass floating around. I have no idea. No idea. If it wasn't a protected pick situation, none will give a fuck about the pick currently, in my opinion. There will be a small part of the community. I think so, but we'll see. You don't think they were lacking energy? Maybe I'm mistaken. I wouldn't be mad if we just outplayed them. I mean, listen, everybody has. I'm not saying that my opinion holds more weight than yours. You could very well be right, but to me, the way that I view that game is that I think that the Boston Celtics weren't expecting the Bulls to be that active defensively. They were consistently active defense. I think we walked away with that game with a defensive rating of 109, if I'm not mistaken. The Bulls are really getting at it defensively. Now, I've said this as well, too, though. Part of really good defense is just luck as far as your team having cold shooting night. And so, it's a balance between the two for sure. I'm in the camp of keep the pick, but it's going to be tough. Coop is off the table entirely, but I hope AK is at least smart enough to position the team for the 26th draft with AJ Dimba. I always mispronounce. Listen, he's a talent, but the thing is that you would have to. It's going to be so many teams outwardly tanking. The Bulls aren't going to ever bottom out to where they can have the highest odds at the first overall pick. You never know what you're getting in the draft for the most part. Yeah, true, but you know what you're getting with this team, and we're in the middle of the pack. And that's where, and again, like I said on today's daily episode, that's the risk that the Bulls run either route that they go. They can go and try to trade down, and they could draft the bust in this draft. They can stay and maintain, and then they could be in the middle of the pack for the next 3 years and not really be drafting well. And then after 3 to 5 years, be looking and saying, we ain't got shit. So it's a risk either way. Like I always try to make sure that I point out, there's no 100% guarantee on anything. By the way, but just because of my OCD, we're 21,299 subscribers. Can we get one more subscriber so we can be at an even number? 21,300. We got a goal of getting 25,000 by the end of the season. Can we get another subscriber? Can one person subscribe to the channel? I know there's one freeloader in here that can at least subscribe to the channel. Can we get that one? Can we get that one? Midgets aside, if the pick doesn't convey this year, does it affect our own? No, so we owe one pick to the Spurs. Other than that, we own all of our first-round picks going forward. And that's what I talked about on today's Daily, Brazil. Go and check that out. I go a little bit more in depth. But if the Bulls do convey the pick this year and it goes to the Spurs, the one benefit of that is that the Bulls own all their first-round picks going forward. So if they do have a down year, if they do decide to pivot and trade everybody next year, and then we have a sucky season, you have your own first-round pick. So The Bulls have matched up with Boston well this season than I thought they would have when they played the first time this season. They was up 8 in like the late third quarter until the Celtics run. I mean, you always have those matchups. I think the thing with it is that the Bulls and the Celtics are both the two of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. And because of that, like those games are going to be close. Agreed. Billy won't change the lineup without moving Coby to the bench, even just for a few games. Billy is too much of a coward. Been saying it for weeks. Yeah, I mean, listen, Billy Donovan he's not gonna make big changes. He just doesn't do it. Did you hear that Iowa has the highest field goal percentage against the Celtics of any player in NBA history? Great. Cook them. Cook them. Oh, damn, my bad. I thought we had the pick outright. That's why we can't do the dual timeline, stay competitive throughout the season, add major young asset in the draft. We'll see. We'll see. I agree. The Bulls have energetically punched them in the face, and it stunned them. Yeah, I just think. Listen, you always have a plan until you get punched in the face, right? And I do think the Celtics kind of overlooked the Bulls and maybe thought, "Hey, we're playing the Chicago Bulls. This is a winnable game for us. Let's go in here and take care of business." And then when they came in, and they were like, "Damn, the Bulls are shooting better than us. Oh, damn, the Chicago Bulls are giving effort defensively. Oh, damn, the Chicago Bulls are getting physical with us." I think it just at that point, that on top of the team overall getting frustrated by Tony Brothers, it just really disrupted them. I do like to see Coby. I do like to see how Coby can benefit as a 6-man off the bench with the score. Here's the thing, though, and this is a question that I threw to somebody today. When has Coby ever been better coming off the bench? He's not that type of scorer. I get the mindset of saying, bam, Coby's a scorer. Let him come off the bench. He's going to come off the bench. He can be ball dominant, but he's not. He's still going to be coming off the bench. And one of Josh Giddey or Lonzo Ball or Ayo Dosunmu is always going to be in the game with him. And Coby is never been more productive off the bench. Go and look at it. The best seasons of Coby in the Chicago Bulls uniform has come with him as a starter. There have been no signs for Coby White coming off the bench that he's going to be the type of scorer he is starting coming off the bench. He just has never been that. Let's see. I'm going to bring up the numbers. I just want to see for his career. Let's see. So Coby White coming off the bench for his career, 13 points, 38% shooting from the field, 40% shooting from field goal shooting percentage, and a -4 positive plus minus. He's just not that good coming off the bench. He's just not that, like, I get it. Like, I think people know because Coby's a scorer and they go to thinking like, oh, Jordan Crawford. I mean Jamal Crawford, because Jordan Crawford sucks. Jamal Crawford. Oh, Ben Gordon, when he's just not that type of player coming off the bench. He never has been. He's never has been. So it's not really a positive thing for Coby White to come off the bench. It just isn't. Now, I will say this, you can't keep starting him if you, it's even worse. My bad. I was just looking at the last calendar year. Coby White for his career, 196 games off the bench, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on what's the shooting splits? Oh, these shooting splits are nasty. 32% from the field, 35% from 3, 53% free throw shooter. Yeah, I'm sorry. Coby White's not good coming off the bench. He just never has been that. That's not Coby White's game. It's just not. So, yeah, it's I get it why people say that, and I get it. Like you look at scores and rhythm scores, and you're like, boom, come off the bench, be a 6-man. But Coby's terrible coming off the bench. Terrible. It's not good in any stretch of the imagination. That's 196 games off the bench. That's not a small sample size. That's over 2 seasons worth coming off the bench. No, that wasn't. He was a starter early in his career. He started what, the second season? Coby's not good coming off the bench. He's just not. Is Zoe ready to start? Zoe is probably never going to be a starter for this Bulls team again. Even if he resigns, he's probably never going to be a starter again. I think that we could also be a great fast break team, but the problem is that we think we are a fast break shooting team when we really should be fast break driving team, especially off turnover. Well, we are a great fast break team. I mean, we're one of the best fast break teams in the league. Now, could we be more efficient attacking the paint more naturally? Absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, you got some seriously awesome gear. Love the fits. Can you write them off as a business expense on your taxes? Is it in line with your show? Now, I'm a smart Negro. And all I can say to that is, y'all think that come on, man. Yes, it is a tax write off. Yes. Yes, it is. This is my work uniform. It's a tax write off. Just saying. Just saying. It's not just Coby scoring, but it's with Io development as a starter has been well. Giddey may not be coming off the bench, although most of us may like to have him with his bad defense. What is Coby's role? I mean, well, Coby has shown you what his role is. When Coby's allowed to be an on-ball playmaker, he's actually really good. Not even just for his own scoring, but for actually helping his teammates and create open shots as well. So, I mean, Billy Donovan's just going to have to make a tough decision. Now, I do agree with you that Io DeSumo and what he's shown as a starter, you may eventually have to look at him a start. And I would love to see Billy Donovan do that. But then again, like I said earlier, Billy Donovan's a pussy. So I don't expect him to make changes in there. I mean, 13 points off the bench wouldn't be so bad. That could help us in a late game run. He does not necessarily have to drop 20 points. Yeah, but he's giving you better production even in the slump starting. That's the thing. If you're looking at overall, like he still makes a greater impact. It's not about just the number. It's about the impact. Coby White impacts the game more positively, even in the slump, starting than off the bench. That's just the reality of it. Coby just needs to stop trying to force his way out of the slump and let the game come to. Well, the problem is that with the way that he 62% of his shots are coming from corner threes and above the break threes. He's not really getting in rhythm. Coby got in rhythm prior by driving, by shooting in the mid range. Those shots are almost non-existent for Coby White now with how we run our offense. So, it is what it is. At least your shit not like Buddy over there on Windy City Breeze. Well, hey, hold on now. Pat's my brother. What did Pat do? What did Pat do? Haize be out here like, I get my hair cut so it looks good on camera. So that's tax deductible. No, I wish it was tax deductible. I wish it was. Haize fits are tax right. That way farmers claim liquor as a business expense and get the tax credit for it. That's crazy. That's crazy. You think Coby's having the ball less in his hands has affected his rhythm? Absolutely. 100%. 120%. That's a large part of why Coby White has not gotten in rhythm at all this season. Much like Tiana Trump, he needs the ball in his hands. He needs the ball in his hands. Yeah, I stand by that joke. I stand by that. Haize, I really enjoying Julian Phillips' development lately. Love his corner threes and toughness. What are your thoughts on his ceiling? Can he be a solid rotational player for us for long? Oh, absolutely. I think right now, and it can change with more playing time, that you definitely kind of look at him and say, like, he has that DJJ type game. He just does. So, no, not Pat. That phone him. I'm talking about dude behind the camera. You're talking about which one? There's like 3 of them they rotate behind the camera. Better be claiming the midgets as a tax write-off, Haize. Don't be silly. Now that's crazy. That's wild. That's crazy. Sydney says, I don't know if I feel good about this game. Celtics is going to come out for blood. Yeah, Celtics is going to come out trying to make a statement. Absolutely. They're going to come out trying to make a statement. I mean, if you start taking a shot each stream, you could say the dark liquor is for the show. That's actually funny. That's actually funny. It is what it is. But all right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up the stream. We'll be back at halftime. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you guys want to leave a voicemail and or text message for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. That's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all.